Everybody, welcome to Thursday. The S&P 500 was down 1.4%, unfortunately giving back a lot of the gains that we had yesterday. The big news today was really just some weak economic reports. First-time unemployment claims were higher than expected, highest we've had in the last 11 months. Economic, activity in the manufacturing arena was contracting, and so it really brings to light the fact that the Federal Reserve yesterday was talking about signaling, for a rate cut in September, and in my opinion, actually said that it was already here. We basically could have done it, yesterday. I talked about that yesterday, that maybe they should have done it yesterday. And so this weakness that they're seeing in these reports is saying to the market, hey, maybe, they should have done it. And because it puts more pressure on September. And September, is a long ways away. Maybe they do a half a point rate cut to try to catch up. But there is a political aspect to this, for all intents and purposes. In every interview that I've seen with Fed governors, they said that politics does not enter the room when they're talking about rate cuts. And I hope that's true. But there is rhetoric, coming out saying, hey, don't, do a rate cut because it might help the other party, that kind of stuff. And so doing a half a point rate cut, even though it might be needed, could be harder to do. So, there's some concerns here, I think, in terms of what might happen as far as that goes. Altogether, most of these things are sliding back down towards kind of a normal, range. But again, as I mentioned yesterday, you got to be careful. You can slide through normal. And the Federal Reserve, in my tenure of doing this for 38 years, I can only remember one time that they engineered a soft landing, which is what we've had so far. But that was in 1994. Every other time, they either raised rates too much or didn't cut them fast enough, or even in this case, they didn't raise them fast enough to stop this inflation. It's a very difficult job. It's very hard to do. You got 400 economists on staff, and they still have a hard time getting it right. And so the market doesn't really trust the Fed to get it right as far as that goes. And again, that's what's happening right here is that contrast of yesterday. Hey, we're not going to lower rates today. We're going to look at September, and then we're starting to get, economic activity, especially in the jobs market, that's showing some more softness. A couple of months, things could start to slide a lot faster. Of course, that then eventually translates to consumer spending, which is the key thing that's been holding this up so far. So I think, we'll probably be fine here altogether, but we're in for a rocky ride. Again, the market's going to focus on the negative when it's in, this type of mode, just like we saw last year, summer and early fall. And so it's part of the process of running up. Big bull markets like we're in right now often have corrections. A correction would be a 10% or more, downturn. And so that's what we had last year. Again, things are lining up to be similar to that. If they do a half point cut, that could stop that slide or what have you, who knows. I think a quarter point cut is already baked into the market as far as that goes. So it probably wouldn't be that exciting, but a half a point is starting to become more expected, especially with some of this data that's coming. So anyway, that's what's happening today. It's not something to be too concerned about. This is, again, a normal portion of the market. It is going to focus on, positive things when it's going up and feeling good, and looking at things negatively just in the opposite situation. That's a lot of what's happening here. So nonetheless, we'll look forward to seeing what's going to happen tomorrow. Get the jobs report tomorrow, so that's a big one. So if it's a real soft jobs report, it just kind of feeds more into this narrative of, hey, we could be heading towards a recession. Maybe the Federal Reserve should have done something. If it's at medium or higher, maybe that offsets kind of what's happening here. So that'll be important. That happens before the market opens tomorrow. We do the show tomorrow. I'll do a summary for what I saw happening. We'll talk about the jobs report and kind of what's been going on this week. Very interesting time to be in the market right now. Lots of stuff going on. So look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you.